Hi, it's Doug here. I'm a board gamer from Melbourne, Australia, and as you can see, I'm a bit of a Reiner Knizia fan. I fell in love with Reiner in about 1994, and I've been collecting his games pretty much ever since. I think I have around 200 in the collection, and these are all the Reiner Knizia tile laying games that I could find in the collection at the moment. There's probably a few more kicking around that I can't quite see at the moment, but yeah, I'm a Reiner fan. I think he's the best in the business. I just love the way he can design a game that's easy to learn and offers 30 minutes to an hour of engrossing gameplay. So why am I showing you this? Well, there's a new game in town which I didn't really know about, and here it is. It's called Ape Town. I found out about this on Amazon. I don't know, carelessly typed in Reiner Knizia on Amazon, and a week later I ended up with two new Reiner Knizia games, and this is one of them, Ape Town. It's a new tile laying game from Piatnik, and I've played it a few times now. It's fun. There's not a lot out there about this game, so let's take a deeper dive. Ape Town, Monkey Town. Let's talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. See you soon. Of course, before we start talking about Ape Town, I of course missed a game. How could I forget Through the Desert, or Dirk de Verster, Through the Sausage? This is my original edition of it from Cosmos. Came out in about 1998 or something like that. Yeah, one of the quintessential Reiner tile laying games. Okay, so here we have Ape Town from Piatnik. It's Reiner Knizia, of course, tile laying game. It is ages 10 and up, which is probably about right based on my experience. 2 to 4 players, 45 minutes. I've only played this 2 players so far, and we got through the first game in about 25 minutes and the second game in about 20 minutes. It's really, really quick. If you're a Reiner fan, you know what you're going to get here. This is a German edition. I don't believe it's out in English, so I had to translate the rules, which was pretty much just pointing Google Translate at the game. In the old days, 30 years ago, this would have been 2 or 3 days with a German dictionary, and possibly calling in some favors from some German friends to work through the difficult bits. But these days it's a breeze to translate a game. So yeah, it's basically a tile laying game. Looks pretty clean. Basically take a tile, put the tile into a region of the same color, and earn points, or I don't know, earn some points or some later points, I guess. Earn territory points or points later in the game. I don't know. I'd have to translate that again. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Okay, here I am back with a 2-player game of Ape Town set up. And as you can see, it's a very clean looking game. This is the box here. It's just a very Spartan insert. These are just the 3 and 4 player pieces, but I have set up a 2-player game with green and yellow. The rules are in German, unfortunately. They're 8 pages long, but this really could be just a 2 or 3 page rule book. It's all very, very spaciously laid out, and with lots of examples and things like that. I simply took a photo of each page and just pumped it through Google Translate and printed out my own copy of the English rules, and the translation came out pretty clean. So yeah, so this is the game set up for a 2-player game. So I guess the main feature here is the game board, and as you can see, there are 9 different regions on the board, and each region contains 8 or 9 spaces, I believe. There are also some pre-printed regions on the board. So these purple regions, that's a chimp, that's a tarsier, and that is a mandrill. And there are also these orange banana depots, or banana factories. I'll just call them depots. And there's a pond in the middle which doesn't impact the game at all. It's just there to basically divide up the regions. So there are 3 regions of each color. There is white, which is kind of like the upmarket regions of Ape Town, or should I say Cape Town. I can just sort of see a C crossed out there, so that may be some sort of in-joke that bypasses me. Yeah, so we have these white regions, which are uptown. I believe the brown regions, or the grey sort of tan regions here, they're sort of, I don't know, commercial, I'm not sure. And the black regions are sort of docks and warehouses. So that this basically, these 9 areas make up the Ape Town precinct that we're playing on. Okay, so what's actually going on here in Ape Town? Well, according to the rules, the theme of the game is there are gangs of apes and they're roaming around this precinct of Ape Town. They're trying to control the banana monopoly, and they're also trying to take over each of these 9 regions on the board and sort of gain majorities and exert influence over adjacent regions. So it's a battle for victory points. It's a Reiner Knizia game, so it's very, very simple. A turn is simply pick up a tile and place a tile, and just let the action unfold there. And as the board fills in with tiles, things will unravel. Let's dig a little deeper. So on a player's turn, let's just say yellow goes first. They have these sort of ownership chips, which I'll cover in a second, and they also have 6 bundles of money, and the green player has the same ownership chips and bundles of money. So if yellow goes first, what they do is they simply pick up a tile and then they will place a tile. The tiles that they can choose from are these 10 tiles along the board here. So during the game, there'll be a display of tiles that the players can choose from. And as we work our way along and take these tiles, more and more tiles will be revealed around the outside of the board, the perimeter of the board, and they will become available for to obtain and place on the board. But at the moment, in typical Knizia fashion, you're presented with a limited range of choices. So let's just say yellow wants to pick up a tile. So we have these purple tiles, which are the apes, and they come in sort of flavours of mandrill, which are worth 3 points. It's actually quite difficult to see, but there is a 3 on the mandrill. These are tarsials. I can't remember what they're called. Tarsiers. They're worth 1 point, and there are also chimps, which are worth 2 points. So there are a lot of purple chips that will appear in this game, and they're sort of your source of immediate points. So if I picked up a purple chip, and I picked it up from here, you will see that each tile is actually paired with a colour. So if I picked up this mandrill from here, it's actually got to be picked up and placed into a white area, which matches the colour of the space it was adjacent to when I picked it up. So picking up this tile means it's got to go into a white area here, here, or here. But let's just say I didn't want a mandrill. Let's just say I wanted this tile, which is an orangutan. If I bypass this mandrill, I've got to put one of my bundles of money over every tile I bypass. So therefore, you've got to be very careful with managing your money. Okay, so the yellow player has decided to pick up this mandrill, which has to be placed on a white region, and the rules do say, as you pick a tile up, announce clearly and loudly the colour that's paired with this tile. So I would pick up this mandrill and I would yell out white, and it would have to go into a white region. Now, purple tiles want to be near banana depots, and banana depots want to be near purple tiles. This is your source of immediate points. So if I picked up this mandrill from the white region, I would probably want to put it down here, for example. If I'm next to a banana factory or a banana depot, I would get 3 points for every adjacent banana depot. So there's one here, I would simply score 3 points. If there was a banana depot here, I would score 6. If there was one here as well, I would score 9. And if there was one there and there and there, I would score 18. You'd probably win the game because 18 points is about 15% of your final score, but and your opponent is not very good. So yeah, purple tiles want to be near banana depots, and a banana depot, if I pick that up later in the game and put it next to a purple tile, I would score 3 points for that mandrill and 1 point for that tarsier. So I'd get 4 points for putting a banana depot into the white region right here. So that's how purple tiles and orange tiles score points. They're immediate points, and that's the tactical side of the game. Okay, so I've kind of advanced the game a little bit, and as you can see, all these tiles along here have been taken. all the way around to here. So these are the tiles that are currently on display, and it's green to play. And as you can see, some new types of tiles have come out. These tiles here with the player's colours discs on them are white tiles, and the player colour denotes ownership. So we have orangutans. That's the weirdest looking orangutan I've ever seen. And we have lemurs, and they don't score any immediate points. They're almost like investment sort of opportunities that you place on the board. So you don't get any points for placing them. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to predict the future and reap a lot of points later on. So let's just say it's green to play, and green has 1 orangutan and 2 lemurs up in this black region, and it's green to play. So what green is going to do, it's going to pick up a money chip, and it is going to skip this tile here and take this tile here, which has to be played in the black, and it is going to place it up there. Now, there's no immediate points for doing that because there are no banana depots next to that chimpanzee. But this black region here is now complete, and it will score. And there are 2 ways that it will score. The first thing you do is you check to see who has the most orangutans in this region. Now the green player is the only one with an orangutan. So it's going to score every purple chip again. So it will score another 3 points for the chimp and the tarsier. So green will get 3 points, just purely for controlling the orangutans. Now if that was tied, if no one was an outright winner, the tiebreaker is, or the player who will get those points is the player who controls the most lemurs. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a player who was involved in the tie. It could be an entirely different player, a third player, who'll come in and pinch those points if there was a tie for orangutans. The next thing that's going to happen is this region will count the number of lemurs in it. Now there are 2 lemurs in this region. If there are more lemurs in this region than every adjacent region to the one that's being scored, then anybody who has a lemur in this region will share the points of the purple chips with all regions with fewer lemurs. Now that took me a minute or 2 to get my head around. But what's going to happen here is there are 2 lemurs here, no lemurs in this brown region, 1 lemur in this white region, and 1 lemur in this grey region. So this green player is going to get these purple chips, and these purple chips added again. And that's going to be 3, 6, 8, 11, 12. That's another 12 points just for having the most lemurs in this region, having more lemurs in this region than the adjacent regions. So orangutans score for majorities in the region that's just finished. Lemurs will break the tie if there's a tie for orangutans, and they'll also take the points off any adjacent region with fewer lemurs. Very, very crafty, very, very subtle, and you can get a lot of points just by investing in lemurs. So we just continue playing Ape Town until the board fills up and you just score the final region. You simply add your money to your score at the end of the game, and you see who wins. Ape Town is pretty good. I actually quite enjoyed it. It's a very typical Reiner Knizia game in that the first game or 2 you read the rules and you think, this seems pretty basic and straightforward, but what's going on here? But it's just halfway through the first game the light bulb goes off. It's happened so many times with new Reiner Knizia games over the year that I don't get surprised by it anymore. In terms of other Reiner Knizia games, sort of the currency sort of reminds me a little bit of Tram Fabric. The way you've got to bid your currency, which is basically victory points, that sort of reminds me a little bit of maybe Modern Art or Medici. The fact that you can actually see these tiles coming up, and so you can sort of plan ahead, that reminds me a little bit of a game like Tutankhamun over there. But Tutankhamun, you see everything, so you can sort of plan your whole game out in advance, whereas this game you only see sort of up to the next 10 tiles that are available. In terms of recent Reiner Knizia tile-laying games, how do I rank it? Well, I think it's better than maybe something like Cascadero, which is fine, but doesn't really feel like a Reiner Knizia game to me. It just, I don't know, the combos and the ornate graphics, it's just not my thing. I would choose Ape Town over Cascadero, but that's a very subjective thing. It's certainly better than this game here, which is Havilandi, which is a balloon game. It's probably about the same as Aristocracy, which you can see over there. I don't mind Aristocracy, and Ape Town sort of feels about the same quality. I don't think it's as good as a game like a recent tile layer like Rebirth, which I've only had for a few weeks. I've played it maybe 5 times. I think Rebirth is quite superb. I really, really, really like Blue Lagoon as well. It's just so clean, it's so elegant. The scoring gets a little complex, but it's just very clean. I like Blue Lagoon a lot. And Babylonia. I think enough people have rabbited on about Babylonia over the last few years. Babylonia is a great game, and I think it's just slightly better than Ape Town. But anyway, from a rabid Knizia fan of 30 years, that was a quick look at Ape Town. I hope you found it enjoyable, and you can make an informed decision as to whether Ape Town is for you. Enjoy.